Hello there, and welcome to Every Day with an Angel with Natasha. I forgot my mic. Where are you at? Oh, over here. Okay, there we go. It's been a while since I've been live, but it seems like forever. But it was the week before the holidays, and here I'm live on 4 platforms. What a miracle this is. And I'm Natasha Venter. I am a multi life intuitive. What that means is that I love to work with past lives and multi life. I remember being mo- intuitive pretty much all my lifetimes that I've been alive in my soul, right? And so with that I love to bring awarenesses of how our past lives can come forward, right? Well, I'm also a medium. I am an intuitive awareness life coach where I do a lot of life coaching in my business and that kind of thing. So I have not been live on Instagram very much because I've had a lot of guests on my show. And if I have guests on my show, I'm only live on my YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter or X now. So hello, Veronica. Hello on Instagram. Welcome everyone who is here. I love good comments, inspirational comments, ones that can be used on the show, but I'm also discerning a little bit about how people can work. So today's show, and welcome to 2024, right? We've been in this amazing dance of life, and it's not been always easy. And a lot of people are predicting that 2004 is the doorway, right? Well, I'm going to kind of add on a little bit of that because this show's today's intention is going to be on the conversation of expectations and realities. Ooh, that's going to be a little bit of a stretch and pull conversation, right? And then I'm also going to say how this is going to add in because we've been into this story, and I'm live every Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific time. So, welcome to my show, and thank you very much for being here. I love to support you in this journey with no judgment. So, whatever I do, and I am based on many belief systems, mine is based on the greaterness of love. And it's not love of man to woman or man to man or woman to woman or whatever whoever you are, they, them, she, he. It's not necessarily that, but it's about how do we become a better human? Because this is a human experience, right? We're spiritual beings in a human experience. We're a human experience being spiritual beings. And so, how do we become that? Well, this is the year that this is going to be a collective of what all the work we've done spiritually, emotionally, humanly, mentally, all those stories, right? What of work have we done? And I know for me that this last month of November, December was huge because we actually had eclipses and full moons and so the solstice and then new moons and all this stuff, and it really kind of kicked, with the Mercury retrograde, right? And who hasn't been emotional lately, right? I'm going to ask that question. Who hasn't been emotional lately? Well, I know I have been, right? But those emotions are here to help us to be our better self. And I know for me, I've been getting insights, downloads, aha moments of who we are. And that's where this conversation, expectations and realities, came in, right? So I'm going to start this off. What is an expectation? Well, many of us grow up with a mindset. This is the way things should be. I know a lot of people who live with someone who is a perfectionist. Well, expectations, right? It has to go this way. We pack a suitcase. Yeah, that's one thing you're going to notice about me. I'm dyslexic. So words come out and I'm like going, okay, that's one. Okay. Right. And so going into this, and that's why I'm real. I am so real. If you notice in any of my short videos, I'm totally real because I'm human and I got to give myself grace, right? But having the understanding of life is what I enjoy bringing to you. So, expectations. We all have things. We're expected, the last few days. Thank you, Soba, for being here. And yes, I totally can agree with that because we've had a lot of planets in the emotional basis, right, of Cancer and many of us have been going through a lot of grief during the holidays. We can't be where we want to be. We can't be who we want to be. I know that this last Mercury retrograde triggered a lot of my old triggers, right? A lot of my old triggers. And that's the thing, that expectations, right? We have these expectations that we're perfect, that we don't have to be emotional. We're not emotional beings. We don't have these things, but we get triggered, right? And these triggers bring up, oh, I can't be this way. I don't have this emotion. And why am I still thinking of this? What am I doing with this? But that's the thing about triggers. And I've really got this understanding that a trigger, if you picture like life's path and we go down this path, right? And we have this trigger and it's like a big tree in the middle of a path, right? And it wants to stop us from going down that path in life because we're triggered, we're too fearful, we're too afraid, we're too stressed out, we're too anxiety. I can't go down there. I can't do nothing. I can't do what I want to do, right? And But Soba says, but I am noticing that there is a higher force trying to steer me in a specific direction. Yes, because that's what the universe is doing right now. Thank you for saying that. There's a greater force pushing us in a direction, right? And that's why I'm talking about these triggers. Uh, um, my guides or my higher self. Yes and yes. It's our guides, it's our higher self, it's our greater power, right? Depending on what you believe in. That we're asked to look at these triggers that are in front of us. Why are we triggered? But I want you to know that that tree, that big rock in the way, that trigger in our way, if we can go around it and see, oh, that's a trigger. Now, let me give you an example. Um, there's a certain look that somebody gives me, and it triggers me into old patterns of less than, unworthy. And this trigger can come by from different people, right? Because sometimes we have different people that can give the same look, but it's the same trigger for me, right? And so I get that. That's a trigger. But what's behind that trigger is me becoming more empowered, me becoming my truth, me becoming my I can stand up and be, because I have the belief system that how I perceive myself is how others perceive me, right? How I perceive myself is how others perceive me. And so if I can perceive myself as a more empowered woman, not powerful, but empowered woman, stand up for what I know, be who I am to be. My intuitiveness, speaks out, and I have to trust it, right? I have to trust that inner truth of mine. But that look, that trigger stops me from doing that, right? But if I look past it to see what that path is going to be, oh my gosh, what a gift that is for me. What a gift that's going to be for me, because I'm going to be leading down a path that I'm meant to lead down. But if I stop at that look triggered, that look that triggers me into smaller, right? I need to walk around that trigger. But look at it. Why am I feeling less than? Oh, that's other people's beliefs. So do I need to believe in other people's beliefs about me? Ooh, that's a big one for a lot of us, right? How many of us were told we were stupid by our siblings? How many of us were told that we were stupid by kids in the block? I didn't have siblings. I had cousins, and we were all kind to each other within reason. I wasn't nice to one of my cousins, and I feel so bad about that now that I'm grown up, right? That where are we with these triggers? But those are those expectations that we have. We have expectations that we're going to stay in anxiety about those triggers. We have expectations that we're going to stay in. And I'm going to tell you the difference between the expectation, I want this answer from that person. The reality is that they're going to give me a totally different answer than I was looking for. And oh my gosh, I wasn't ready for that. So the reality, let's define reality. right? We defined expectation. What is the reality? The reality that we're in, the reality is that, and the reality is different for everybody. You can have 5 people in the room, and each one is gonna have a different reality, right? Because it's an individual reality because our minds work so individually. So, going into this, our reality is something that is, my observations, my perceptions, perspectives, my love for self, my wisdom, my understanding of what I'm getting a download of. So let's take a TV show. I was talking with someone today, and the TV show gave a message, right? 3 people could be watching that same show and watch and get different understandings of what was said. Hmm. So if we take the reality, like I was watching another video, ladybugs everywhere, right? Ladybugs everywhere. The reality of the ladybug was she was saying, "Well, this is amazing, but I'm kind of getting grossed out. Like this is a bug. Should I be here?" So that expectation is, ooh, bug. Should I be grossed out? There's a lot of bugs, right? That's the expectation because that's the old story. Or should I be in an awe of the collectiveness of that many ladybugs? And take in that story. So I'm going to ask you in your life if you can start looking at observing, no judgment, start observing yourself in the dance of what is my expectations for my kids, for my life, from others, right? From others. Oh, isn't that a tricky one? Because isn't their expectations not in my reality? Ooh, that's a tricky one. Especially if we live with these narcissistic energies, right? And I'm not going to call everybody as a narcissist. No, everybody has emotions and moods and like me cooking dinner, I have an expectation how it works. And like over the holidays, I had my kid here. Oh God, it was such a blessing to have my kid. That's why I wasn't on live last week because I had my kid here. She came back from New Mexico, first time home in 3 years, right? So I was with family and enjoying that moment. And even her, I took my hand, she was doing, the thing out of her hand because I had expectations on how to make something because I was making it. Ooh, I apologized right away. So that was my expectation. She learned different ways. Her reality has been she's living in another state by herself now for 3 years, right? So she's learned her own story, her own reality. Whoo, what a stretch and pull for me. I expected. Now there's that reality, right? So where do we slip in our expectations and override what reality is? Now I'm going to tell you this year coming up, especially, and the years to come up further, if we're willing to really look at what the universe is going to be telling us, the universe is putting miracles in our life, right? The universe is putting miracles in our life. And yes, it's been 3 years already. Wow, yeah, that's the very truth, Veronica. Thank you for saying that. That our reality, the way we take life in, is going to make a difference because the universe is really showing us a path. Like Soba was saying, I'm noticing that there's a higher force trying to steer me in a specific direction. Is that my guides or my higher self? And the answer is yes. The universe is stepping in and day out and trying to help us. But many a times when we have expectations, la, 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 right? We're going to lose out on the greater picture. And I'm going to go a little personal here. I love the person I'm talking about. But there's those expectations. The way that Christmas was supposed to be, the way that we were supposed to go buy presents, the way we do this. Why don't I have ideas? You should have ideas, right? Because we were in fear and fight. both of us, was in fear and flight. We were in expectations. But there's a part of me that I understood that things don't always come when we want them. An example would be is that I've been craving a cat to be my familiar, my one-on-one, my love, the one that sits on my shoulders, the one that cares for me, right? It's taken 5 years for the universe to give me to me, right? It took 5 years. But those stories, that story of my expectation for my cat now 5 years old, who I really wanted her to be, Miss Ava, but she couldn't be my expectation. She couldn't be my expectation. And she couldn't be who I wanted her to be. The reality was that my energy wasn't meeting up with her energy. Her mindset, being coming from a feral mom and dad, and taken from a loving home, cared for, that she was energy challenged. Doesn't that sound familiar to us humans? Right? Energy challenged. Many of us are having a hard time even going to grocery stores. And so I'll read your message here in a minute here. Um, and you know, that message of that, that, I mean, I pet her and her skin gets electrified and she spots at me. She has not come in the house in the last year and a half. I think last Christmas she came in because it snowed and we barely got her in, right? Because it was so cold outside. I mean, she's got a garage that she can get into, and it's not a heated garage, but it's a big garage. So she's got and she's got a couch to sleep on. She's got a lot of things that she can get warm in, right? Her fur is like really thick too. And I feed her. I definitely feed her every morning and night. So going into this, she's still my cat, but she's not my cat. My expectations weren't anything like her. Now I have a kitten. Now 11 weeks old, right? 11, 12 weeks old. My expectations I've had to put on the back burner. I was hoping for, right? The person who fostered these kittens, even though there was a mama cat, but picked them up, put them in her face and petted her and brought dogs in and said hello and all these things, a lot of noises and stuff. So this cat came in more prepared to be in my home energetically, right? Won't be as energetically challenged as Miss Ava was. So my little Rocky is going to be what he's meant to be. My reality is that he's showing me that he's a kind kitten, that he's very inquisitive. Monkey see, monkey do, right? That's why he's not in here, because it's my spiritual room, and the less I have him in my spiritual room, the better my things are with the kitten, right? Even though he can come in here, but he loves to be with people. Or Ava couldn't be with people. She didn't like my dog, right? Dog's energy is totally different 5 years later, right? More cohesive together, more in tune together, right? And that helps our reality. It helps our reality. So Soba, I understand that behind my triggers are me keeping myself small and not acting on what my intuition is telling me. Yes, very well said. Very well said. But I'm going to tell you, knowing a little bit of you, right? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Right? We come from family. We come from traditions. We come from multitudes of things, right? And I'm going to say that I, as a human that I am, and I'm going to say this is male, female, binary, it doesn't matter, gay, lesbian, whatever you are, right? Whoever you are, I love. We all come from something that keeps us small. We could be the first male of the family, but then was beaten so badly that they become small because every time they spoke up, and then they have to live with the father or the mothers, whoever did the or the aunt or uncle, whoever did the story, right? Or the the one that gave them a home to be in, right? Because they were homeless and they came in, and I can't think of the name. Foster care. They were in foster care, right? And they could have been beaten, and that kept them small, right? We have these things that want to keep us small. But there again, looking at the trigger, who is that trigger? Is it my truth? Is it that my reality? No, that's somebody else's expectation and reality, right? That's somebody else's expectation and reality. So that trigger, what I would suggest is looking at it. Who is standing in that trigger? Honor that trigger. Give it grace. Give it a moment. Say thank you for being there and walk around it. Because sometimes if we don't look at that trigger, we don't look at the story behind it, the masculineness, right? The masculinity of it, or the femininity of it, or the knowings of it. And if we don't storyize, if we don't finish that storyizing of our life, right? Figure out why. Figure out why. Like I observed, I had a friend over and I observed that a part of their body was aching as soon as a situation happened. I observed this, right? Because something triggered it. Something triggered it. Hurt the whole time the scenario was happening. As soon as that scenario left, their legs stopped hurting, right? Looked at what side of the body, the masculine or the feminine, if it was intaking or releasing. It was about the knee, so it was about flexibility, about moving forward. When we have these triggers, they're here for a reason. They're a blessing, actually. Triggers are a blessing because a trigger is something that is stating, look at this, right? Look at this. So when we're having in the store, to kind of those that are coming in now, if you haven't been here, this show is going to be about expectations and reality versus reality. And the word trigger has been part of this conversation, right? Because when we go into these knowings, oh my gosh, I mean, this is a huge insight that came to me last week. And I wanted to talk about it last Wednesday, but I couldn't because family was here and it just didn't work in the routine. Thank you for that grace that you gave me. And I appreciate everybody being here. That when we go into that trigger and that expectation of this is who we should be, because that's usually what's triggering it is we have that expectation or things aren't working the way that we are wanting them to, because reality is showing us a certain situation. The reality is giving us a trigger to look at, i.e. the knee hurting as soon as the situation left. So how can we look at that? Where is that masculinity floating in the story of ourselves, right? Where, and there was a conversation later that happened that had a masculine tense to it, instant or masculine conversation about it, right? And so going into how we are and what we're doing, if we can look at what our expectations are and then look at what reality really is. The expectation is I'm having a conversation and somebody should have had something done when I needed it to be done. That's the expectation. I'm just grabbing one out of the air, right? This should be done. That's the expectation. The reality was, though, that that person who couldn't get things done the way that they wanted to, because they had expectations about themselves, about getting it done. But the reality that they had is that life got a little bit interactive and it was hard to do that one scenario. Even though the reality was they did a whole bunch of other things that was like so wide open, right? So if we can, the universe is going to be helping us through, pushing us, pushing us into directions, right? And if we can listen to those, interact with it, feel them through, see if this is a truth. I've been having a situation where my assistants are going to be changing because my kid who's been doing my they came mm, late October, came in and was doing a lot of my emails and doing my recordings for my sessions and stuff like that. Well, they got another job and they're going to run. They're not going to have the time to do it. So I'm looking for another person to assist me on this journey. I have wants and desires, and I'm really trying to keep expectations out of it. But the expectation is that I have the logistics of wanting to be professional in my business, right? Because that's who I am. I have the want to be professional. I'm very human, i.e., even having to go get my mic around on the other side of my computer, right? So that wasn't professional. If you notice my videos that I do, I don't edit them. I am who I am. Most of the time, they're first take because that's what the message is for you. So there again, my expectation is to be professional. My professionalism, I post Sunday through or Monday through Friday. Usually it's Sunday night through Thursday night, but it's Monday through Friday, right? And then I'm live on Wednesdays. And if I can't, I try to let people know, right? I did. I even posted, not going to be live, right? Like I was going live. The reality is that I wanted to be live on my show. I had the desire to be live on the show, right? But what I had was reality was showing me that I couldn't be. And I had to listen to that. So I'm going to invite for you to look at how reality is shifting up your world right now. Because we've been stirred up. It's like getting stirred up in a pot of stew, right? We're getting stirred up. Sometimes some of us are being put on the fire. And when we're going into this story, when we're going into this thing that going forward is part of this, that we're going to if we can invite to look at reality as a message from the universe. Our universe is not leaving us alone. Really, our universe is not leaving us alone. What the universe is doing is pushing us. So Soba, thank you very much for putting in that message about how that you're noticing a higher force is trying to push me in a specific direction. Now I'm going to tell you to offer up, find a truth, right? Like I offered up my job as for the assistance to somebody. I was called to ask this person to do this, right? But her reality is that she needs to slow down. She can't answer me right away. It might take her a week to find the answer for her, right? Because that's her reality. My reality is being a little like, I would like an answer right now, but because I have the time to go through and show her, but that's not my timing. Just like it was not my timing to get my kitten, right? It was not my timing to get my husband sober. I've been married 32 years, almost 33 in March, to a man who now is 11 years sober, right? I would have loved him sober, 2 years into our marriage. Not even a year into our marriage. That was my expectation. That was my desire, but it wasn't the reality. The universe, I so-called God, our helpers, our angels are always in divine timing. And if we have a journey, like I was hearing that, you know, I put it on my Facebook channel um, about a speech that somebody was doing about how, many times when we graduate from college, right, or a school, we have these long-term goals. Well, if we have long-term goals, what happens? I want to do this. I want this to happen. I only want this to happen. I'm not looking at anything else because this is my goal and I got to follow through with what I say I'm going to do because everybody else is going to think negative of me because I'm not doing what I said that I was going to do. But you never know what is going to pop up along the way to help us. So I would invite that if you do have long-term goals or goals that you set at the beginning of this year, you know, New Year's resolutions, right? That you look at it to see what the universe is wanting you to do. Because this is a journey. Our life is a journey. And if we can negotiate that journey with more open eyedness, see what bugs are flying in front of us. See what animals are here to find us. See what the car bumper sticker says on the front of us. See what the billboard is saying. Hear the conversations as we're walking down in the grocery store. Thank you, Soba. See what it, look at a sunset and see what it's having to you to say. And I'm going to invite for you that if you can, and I know I'm struggling with quieting my mind. I am so struggling with that because I know that I have, as the words were given to me today that really set to a truth, I have uh, victim-induced ADHD. In other words, I could, could the journey be a dance? Yes, it could be a dance. Thank you, Kathy, for saying that. I always say that the life is a dance. What music are you going to dance to? Sometimes we dance to music we don't really like, right? But we need to but if I can offer you, keep dancing. So thank you, Kathy, for saying that. We're all in this amazing life. We're miracles. We are truly miracles. Do you know what it took to be born? The spark of amazingness. But when we're in the womb, when our journey starts, right? When we're in the womb, that's where our journey starts. And many of us pick up expectations in those first few years of our world. And going into this dance of our story, of our journey, look at what the universe is trying to do for us, right? So, and Kathy does, and dang, but sometimes we do best by learning new steps. Definitely. I'm going to say the world is going to ask us to get uncomfortable. Wow. So you're going to see me channeling more. You're going to see me giving a little bit longer videos. You're going to see me becoming more bold in my language because I'm usually pretty kind about things. And yes, I'm going to be kind, but if you can hear today, I'm standing in my power because I'm loving this knowings that I'm getting, right? Um, Soba says, please start a private group, monthly membership, 2 to 4 months coaching group. You have a lot to offer. Thank you. Yes, I'm setting that up. There's a lot of insights that are coming to me and I'm gonna do that. So probably starting in February, I'm going to start putting that out there. Then I'm gonna look for some private groups. I do a book study once a week. And so yes, private group, a mentorship type of group. And it's not necessarily mentoring on specific things, even though it's kind of nice to have specific things on a conversation. So thank you for mentioning it. You've mentioned that to me many times, and I appreciate that. I'm getting the hit. I'm getting the hit, right? So thank you. We're all in the midst, and I am so blessed to be alive right now. 2024 is going to be the year of the dragon, Chinese dragon. Chinese New Year is the year of the dragon, right? And it's the wood dragon. What does fire, dragon, do to wood? What are we willing to do different and burn up, clean up, transition? I believe that there's no endings without new beginnings. So that's called a transition that old into new. If you have a habit, many times you need to find something else to replace that habit, right? So if you eat sugar, you're going to want something else to eat that is sweet, right? Peanut butter and honey, maybe. Get in that sweet. What are we going to do to create a new pattern in our life? The dragon, that inner power, that inner roar, that inner knowing. And you know what? I think when around the Chinese New Year, I'm gonna offer to channel a dragon. Ooh, wouldn't that be interesting? I've channeled them before. I love channeling dragons. Um, my elder loves to channel through me. So going into this story of this new year, who are you desiring to be? It's not called to be. It's not expectationally to be. Desire to be. But it's going to start coming home to you, right? Coming back into that inner roar that you have. And it's not always going to be other people's expectations. It's going to be your reality. But I'm going to ask you to do something that's a little bit of a knowing, though. Respect and honor other people's realities. Sometimes, we live in cities where there's a lot of homeless people. I'm not going to pick on them. I was once homeless. Not in this lifetime, in other lifetimes. That people looked down on them. But I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of angels in those homeless people. There's a lot of people that are struggling to learn to be alive. Many of them are on the spectrum of emotional spectrum. I call, there's the spectrum of the mind, Asperger's, but there's actually the emotional spectrum. And many of us have not been taught well to deal with our emotions, i.e., anxiety, right? Anxiety is a good thing. It's a good teller. I'm coming into something new. So Veronica says, who do we call upon to help us with our new transformations? Good question. I'm getting that there's a story of three. There's three. One is our higher self. Our higher self is the one that kind of gives us little taps of insights, a little bit of knowings. And that energy feels like it comes this way, if I've observed for myself, my reality. Your reality could be different, right? Your higher self. Those are those little whispers. Do you think you should eat that? Don't you think you should get up right now? Don't you think that things should be a little bit different? Don't listen to that person. They're not telling you a truth. That's a higher self. Okay? Never will be negative with you. Never will be negative. Chamarel wants to come in and help you with transformations. Here I go. Channeling. So those who don't see me channel, I don't go all the way out. I stay here a little bit, but I do let that spirit come in. And I channel angels and I can channel a fairy or two, but here he comes. Ah, I, Chamarel, am one who is going to be here for you. The dear ones of coming through this transformation this year is going to be amazing gift for you. But you have to be willing to go through the mud of the feet, the mud of the knowing. I want you to know that the transformations that you're going to be going through are going to be amazing. Please look at the journey that you're on. If you look at the now, you're going to get blinders. You're going to get into the story. You're going to get into the knowings that this is not worthy. I'm too afraid. But as this dear one says, you have to be willing to have movement. And you may not have to jump off the cliff you see yourself being on the edge of. It might be just where the ground, as you take that step, comes up and meets you. Right? That step Feels so far down, but yet the ground will come and meet you. So trust that next step that you're going on that feels so right to do, but the anxiety is there. Life is going to be having mud on your face and stories in your head, but it's time to say, thank you. I don't believe you anymore. I, Chamarel, will help you. And as the dear one who wants to come in, she's coming in now, wants to help you also. I, Chamarel, love you, the angel of change and time and love. So be it. I'm here for you. Oh, dear ones, I love you so much. And the wisdom that you are, I, Mother Mary, are here to you, being what you're giving you kindness and love. I, Mother of the world, Mother of the worlds, loves you. Be part of your own story. It is time to stop watching those TV stories. Yet they all have something as input for you. Glean what you need from it. Glean what you want and need from the stories of the world around you. There is going to be blessings in your world, my dear. And it's to you to see it in your reality. See the flowers blooming in the spring. See the sunsets and the sunrises as they come in. This dear one loves to see the raindrops at the end of a branch before it even gets gets the new growth on it. So magical these moments are. So believe in who you are and believe in the magic that you are, because you are coming into a new story. We've been building you up with all these transformations and changes in your planets and in your earth, right? What happened on this New Year's Day? The first year of 2024, there was earthquakes all over the Pacific. Because Mother Earth is changing things too. And it's one thing that she cannot change without you, and you cannot change without her. It's time to believe in your story. Believing in you. You have come a long ways, my children. You have come a long ways. And it's time for you to believe in you. And remember, you are so loved and so worthy of love that is beyond the mind of your mind, mentalness of your humanness. Believe in you. I send you love and blessings in your journey. You can call upon me, Chamarel, and your higher self, because your higher self has been one that has walked a long time with you, all your lifetimes. It's the mind of your emotions and your center of your intuition, and it's time to believe in you. Breathe. Remember to center yourself with breath of the life. Believe in you, my children. I love you. Blessings be. Wow. Whew. Thank you. I didn't expect Mother Mary to be the third one in there. But I guess she popped in. It was hard to keep Chamarel there. She was popping in. So with this, I hope that that message was there for you. I'm so grateful that you were here today. Thank you for the wisdom that you are. You've all, I can't stop laughing. Yeah. You all are in the midst of major changes. You're going to find that you all have your personal, I think she brought up earthquakes, right? Very enjoyable, joyful energy. Yes, they all are. I know for me, Chamarel came into my life. Um, Thank you. I'm glad it so but resounds with you. Chamarel came into my life when I was called to go to Hawaii to do Doreen Virtue's Animal Angel Therapy Practitioner course so that I can start my business to get the trust in this. I have been demeaned so much in my life that I was called to go Hawaii for the first time by myself. Nobody. I was going to be having a roommate that I never met before. He was sitting in the corner of my hospital or my hotel room waiting for me to accept him because he came to me during the time of change for me. That time when I went to Hawaii, it wasn't my course that I took with Doreen Virtue. It was my conversation with Pele, the fire, right? The volcano, that it was time for me to find my own fire. Earth dragon, wood dragon, fire, right? Fire. So with that you're thank you for that. You are full of wisdom today. You are so different. Thank you. Yes, I. It's time for me to come out. It's time for me to come out, and I'm going to be human. There's going to be ebbs and flows of me being human, right? But there's going to be, I'm hoping, more empowered messages for you. I will quote something that what you shared to past on my Instagram. Thank you. Thank you. Please, thank you for that. Please share, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. This is a message that is meant to be for many. And I'm hoping that it helps people out because, yes, 2024 is huge. But it's not because it's 2024, which is an 8-year, which is infinity, as above, as below, right? As we work with things above in our heads, below we have to go into our understandings, right? And I'm hoping that we can lay our expectations to the side, honor them for what they know. They are great wisdom, right? But they're not always applicable. They're not always, what's the word? Purposeful in the moment. Okay. They're not always purposeful. So, I am down to the last couple minutes here of the show. So please, like I said, if you would like to share this in any way, if you would like to subscribe or copy a portion of it, I'd be grateful. Okay. So, you said, oh, Paula. Yeah. Hi, Paula. I didn't even see you were there. Thank you, Paula, for being here. I hope things are going well for you, and I hope everybody had a good holiday season, whatever you believe in. It was a tremendous year, and it was a tremendous ending of the year. Mercury in retrograde during the holidays. Boy, that was a dance. You were wanting fairy cards, weren't you? And I actually am going to do dragon. You wanted the fairy deck, didn't you, Veronica? So, yes, the fairy deck. So, who would like actually made it on time this tonight? Thank you for being here. Yes, I'm here. Going to be here every Wednesday at 4:00 Pacific time, live. And then I have short videos. Well, yesterday's was not a short video. It was like I think a 4 or an 8-minute video. Wow, that was a moment. So, if you'd like a reading, I'm going to do fairy deck or dragon. Just to honor the thank you, beautiful soul. You're more than welcome, Raquel. Thank you for being here too and supporting me. Would you like dragon? Kathy, dragon. Okay, so I'm going to do Veronica since she said first. Okay, this is the message for you on your personal story. So what I'm going to ask for you, if you get a card reading, Yes, please, fairy. Okay. Please put just the intention you would like. And then I'm going to, you know what to pick for me. Okay. So let's see. This is for Veronica. Let me put the energies in because I want to honor her as I was getting messages for other people to do readings. For Veronica. Hone into her energy. There we go. What would you like to know, Veronica? What would be the message from the fairies? Woo! Ah, okay, here we go. This one here. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you want. Let the universe and other people know what you need. You know what I've been doing? I just don't think what I need. I sit down there and get into the energy of it. And then at the end of what you're asking for, ask for the greater good to happen. Because sometimes what we want isn't always what we're desiring for our greater good, right? Sometimes things happen for our greater good. Like sometimes we're asking for a job, but we don't get a job. And then 2 months later, we find out that we needed to support somebody in a journey in their life. And we were really the person that needed to do it. And if I would have had a job, would have had a job, we couldn't have done that, right? But remember to ask for things to help you survive it, though, or negotiate with it, or to be with it. So, Veronica, as you're going forward, remember to ask full circle and get into the energies of it. But I'm getting a tap, Veronica, for you that, let's see here, that you ask for kindness and grace along with that journey. Okay? We're allowed to do that. To ask for grace and kindness. Okay? So ask for what you want. So I'm going to read real quick here. Admit to yourself your true feeling, affirmations. Ask for what you want. Okay. This card serves as a reminder. It's important of asking for your desires. The universe is much like a restaurant in what you need to put in your order before anything can happen. Your current situation calls for action on your part. First, spend time clarifying your desires. Then tell the universe clearly what you want. You can always qualify your request with a prayer. This or something better, so that you do not underwillingly limit yourself. However, you do need to make clear decisions about your desires. This card also says, be honest with people in your life. Tell the universe what you want. Write a list of your desires. Have a heart-to-heart talk with someone in your relationship about your needs, boundaries, and expectations. There's that word expectations, right? We have them, and it's part of life. But how do they apply overlooking reality, right? So there again, ask for expectations that actually can be in reality. Ask others to help you and accept that aid when it is offered. Expect a positive outcome, and your expectations will be rewarded. So ask for what you want. Make a wish. It may just come true, right? Okay, so that's fairy. Okay, so the next person was Dragon with Kathy. So I'm going to go down the list. You're more than welcome. So Kathy, put in the intentions that you would like an answer to. Whoa! I guess that one's yours. Freedom. Freedom. Look at that dragon. Isn't that amazing? That's the empowerment of, look at the light that comes down. So freedom. So let me read what freedom wants. So that's 10. 10. You know the number of 10. So the number is 10 of the freedom card. No, gotta go the other way. New Roman numerals, right? So freedom. Let go and trust the process of life and the universe. And remember, if you don't get a card reading, that a lot of these cards can be for you too. There's always messages for anybody in your reality. Freedom frequently appears when we have been kidding ourselves about the particular situation or scenario we find ourselves in. You may be feeling overwhelmed and with responsibility or trapped by circumstances. Or it's simply the feeling of disquiet and anxiety. She says, open your heart and you will see the inner truth of any situation. Don't be afraid of the truth, for it can be as liberating as is healing. Change is the simple contact of your world, and you have learned to fear that change. Let go, for it is your gilded cage. Give yourself wings and come fly with me. You can only be truly free once you release your strong need for control. She continues, be brave, follow your inner guidance. Only you can set yourself free. Let go and trust the process of life and the universe. Take time out. Free some time for you to dance, play music, get back to that yoga practice. Listen to listen to water, catch the wind in your hair. Seek out the place and peace and quiet of the situation, solitude of nature. Sit quietly and simply be. So, she is saying to you that it is time to like I said, do the wings. And it's not even our situation that we've been talking about. It's overall that um us in the Northwest have been hearing weather, and it's not always easy to get out and be, but I can tell you, taking a walk outside is magical. Um, Remember to love yourself. I love this color, this dragon. Oops, trying to get the light off of it for you. There we go. Dragon. So I hope that was a good message for you, my dear friend. I love you. Okay, so fairy for Soba. So Soba, please take in the understanding of who you are and put out the intention of what you'd like, and then the cards will set up the connection for you. This is for Soba. Whoa. The one that's telling me is this one. Birthday. So yours is birthday, Soba. So this is a significant birthday holds the answer to your question. So I'm getting that there's a transformation coming for you. There's going to be some changes coming up. You're going to kind of come back home again, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to tell you, a birthday is not always the day we were born. A birthday is when a magical thing happens. There's something freedom coming up for you. There's going to be a different kind of freedom for you. And it's gonna be and that's the thing, it could be even just an awareness, a birthday of an awareness. I know I have them too. Um, so let me read birthday. Birthday. A significant birthday holds an answer to your question. You drew this card because your birthday or birth date or of a significant person in your life is pivotal to answering your question. Perhaps you'll meet someone special on a birthday at a birthday party, or despite or depart loved one in heaven is celebrating your birthday or their own. This card could also signify event you desire will occur by your next birthday. Trust the first thought or feelings of the specific meaning for this card for you. It is a powerful message. Initial meaning is news of a pregnancy is coming. Heaven is helping someone who is recently birthday or whose birthday is intimate or coming up. You'll receive a special gift soon. Give yourself the present that you desire. Ain't that a big one? You'll encounter a positive sign of an upcoming birth. So birth could be something that, like an idea or a or a job situation, or a special event is coming up. So a birth of an idea or a birth of a baby. That's the same idea, right? New knowings, new desires. But there again, what expectations would we have around it, or what is the reality? You'll have positive signs about new birth, expected birth, or new business or project. Well, I hope that helps. But you got some things coming up, my dear. You've been in the dance, and now it's time to come back to center and family. Is what I'm getting to. Okay, so Paula, let me tap in to see which one's for you. I'm hearing dragon. Hearing dragon for you. So this is for Paula. So Paula, tap into the energies. And those who are watching, if you get a message to get a card reading, I'm now getting to the end of my show. Yeah, dragon. So put your intentions out there. What would you like some guidance on? There we go. Feel your energy tapping in here. Woo! I was asking which one was going to be for you. It dropped out. So what is this one? Daphne. Daphne. 30. So 3. So 30 comes down to 3. So Daphne. Let me try to get no light on her for you. Look how empowering she is. Daphne. Daphne? Oh, dolphin. Dolphin. Dyslexic. What do you expect, right? Dolphin. Oh, God. It's embarrassing, but yeah, that's me. So dolphin. Okay. So let's dolphin. Yeah, I am who I am, and I am going to only be me. So take me as I am, I hope. So 30. So there again is the 30, the 3. Okay, let's see here. So, dolphin. You can choose to heal and be healed or swim in the riptides. Oh, ain't that a statement? We can heal. We can choose to heal, be healed, or swim in the riptides. That's the truth. Dolphin is an enthusiastic counterpart of the whales and the dolphins. The whales are the earth record keepers, and the dolphins are the spiritual ancestors. They carry the blueprint of our spiritual existence here on earth. This wise old dragon of the deep carries the same knowledge and understanding within the depths of his being. Delphin has this to say about our journey as the oceans on our path of our planet. Excuse me, I'll read better here in a minute. The waters of earth can cleanse or maim, support, or take life. You too are faced in a similar choice. You can choose to heal and be healed, or swim in the riptides. Neither is wrong. It is only a matter of perspective and choice. You have been faced with abundance, some situations at times and made some bad choices too. Remember, you are human, and as humans must, your race makes mistakes on occasion, poor decisions, but that is all part of learning. It is time to forgive yourself and others. Move on. Delphin tells us to look deep into our soul and ask, what is your purpose on earth? What is it we must discover about ourselves? Are we healers? A spiritual guide light for others to follow? Are we seekers of the truth through science? Are we called to work with him, possibly as ecologists or even marine biologists? He is very useful to call upon when feel stuck or unable to go with the flow. His presence acts as a reminder that we would do well to stop struggling and surrender to the ebb and flow of life. For that which we resist persists. Your task is to uncover your divine passion and kickstart the job you came here to do. Well, I hope that helped. I think that was good for everybody, that we can choose to swim in the riptide, right? Our own expectations, our own stories, other people's stories, other people's expectations. That's the riptide, right? Or we can look at the reality that is in front of us, with us, in our minds, in our bodies, not always believing it, not always believing it. There's many reality images that I get, and I have to ask, is that mine, right? Discern that thought, that reality of that thought. Was that something that I needed to have? No. Discern it away, right? Relieve it away. Our reality doesn't always mean that we have to accept it, but we can be willing to look at it and say, no, I really don't need that. Or, oh my gosh, that was a great insight. Or, you know what? That's something I'm going to have to ponder on. So, going forward, it's time to believe in yourself. Find the magic that you are, the wisdom that you are. Because, we're only here once in this lifetime. We have other lifetimes, other dimensions, other knowings, past, future, ending, not, that we're going to be working on. But right now, we're here. We're here. And it's worthy to be here. I send you love. I send you awareness. And please remember, if you need a private session for some support, I'd be glad to support you. Thank you for being here. If you know somebody who would like to be a part of this journey, let them know that I'm live every Wednesday at 4 o'clock and that I have my inspirational quotes. And that you never know what Natasha's going to do from now on. I also do podcasts. So if you know of somebody who likes to listen to podcasts, it's Every Day with an Angel uh, podcast, and that's on most platforms, and which will be loaded up right after this show. So thank you everyone for coming, and I'm here Monday or Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific time. And if I'm on Instagram, it's because I don't have a guest. So blessings on this journey. I'm Natasha Venter at angelicclarifications.com. Bye now. You're more than welcome.